Welcome to video number 3 in using iTrain. My name is Bob. In the last video I gave you a very quick tour of the iTrain software and showed you the simple design concept which allows you to achieve virtually all your tasks either within the opening window or through the edit menu. In this video we will use the interface editor to create an interface for your command station and then connect to it. Okay, so I've started iTrain and it automatically loaded the demo program that we had open when we finished the last video. To protect the demo layout here from any of the changes we're going to do, now's a good time to actually save this as a new layout. So go up to the file menu to save as, and then in the file name down here we'll enter a new name and call it tut_03, and make sure you keep the same file type, which is the .tcdz file, and then click OK to that. And now if you go to the open button, you'll see that the original 5 demo layouts are still there, and you have the new layout that you just saved. Now, for most of these initial tutorials we will be using iTrain in offline mode, so not connected to a physical model railway layout. However, most of you probably already have a layout and you're keen and eager to see if you can get iTrains connected to it, and that's what I'll show you in this video. So we'll use the interface editor to create a new interface for your command station. Firstly, make sure that your command station is powered on, so do that now, and then go up to the edit menu and to interfaces, and then type the new button. In the type field here, if you go to the drop down menu, you'll see a list of all of the interfaces that are supported by iTrain. The ones with a red S next to them show that they use a serial connector, so that would be the old RS-232, but more typically it would be the modern USB cable. And the ones with the N show that they use a network connection, so an Ethernet cable. I use the DigiGuys DR5000, so that's the one I will select. Now it's important that you type in a short name here, so I'm going to type in DR5000, and you can optionally also put in a longer description here if you'd like. The control type determines what types of items will be controlled by your interface. So with a command station you would typically want it to control vehicles, which is your trains and locos, and you'll want it to control accessories and your feedbacks, and you may also see an option for boosters here as well, depending on what interface type you've selected. The General tab can usually be left in its default settings here, but refer to your command station manual to see what is the correct settings. The more important tab is the connection. If you're using a serial interface like the DR5000, you'll be asked to input the name of the COM port that your computer is using. So if you click on the drop down, you'll see a list of the COM ports that the system has recognized. If your COM port is not shown here, click the refresh button and it will usually then find the COM ports that are on the system here. If you don't know which COM port you should be using, then of course you should refer to your command station manual. The other way you could do it is to go down to the search box here and then type in Device Manager and then click on the link, and in here if you open the ports you'll then see a list of the ports that your system has identified as being used, and your command station interface should be listed here. For the DR5000 I know that I should be using COM port 5 because it has the loco net connector on it, so that's the one I'll be using. Close that down and then select COM port 5. Now the connection tab will look different if you're using one of the network interfaces. So for example, if I choose the ECOS, you'll see that you're asked to input an IP address instead of a COM port number. So input the IP address, which again you'll get from your manual. Now I need to go back to the DR5000, and then on the specific tab this can typically be left in its default conditions too, but again refer to your command station manual to be sure. The image is where you can download an image of your command station, and comments tab is just a general comments box. Right, so that's it set up. Now the important thing is to make sure you press the apply button here so that it saves your command station. So we'll click on that, and now you'll see that in the left hand side here the DR5000 is showing, and there's a tick in that box indicating that that interface is now active. And down in the bottom right corner here you'll see that there is a box showing the DR5000. So we can close this down. Now we're not actually connected to our layout yet. To make the connection we click on the connect switch up here, and then when that happens you'll see that the DR5000 has now got a green dot against it indicating that there is a successful connection. Can that be trusted? Well, of course, but the way to double check is to go to the go and stop buttons up here, and if you press on these, which is removing the track power from your layout, you should see the track power lights on your command station turn on and off, which will verify that that connection is there. And the icon in the lower right hand corner here turns red and green to tell you when track power is actually on there or not. Well, that's all well and good. We've seen that we can connect to our command station and turn track power on and off, but we need to input some of our own trains to run on the layout, and that's what we'll do in the next video. But before we leave here, let's just go up and click save to save the changes that we made to tutorial number 3. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.